This is how much I spend living in Tokyo as a 29-year-old. This will include food, entertainment, groceries, shopping, plus lots more. We're starting this video on a Tuesday, don't ask why, but it was an early morning train for me. I headed into the city for a doctor's appointment before work, and of course, I forgot my water bottle, so I grabbed one for 120 yen from the vending machine. It was my first time at this clinic, so I had to fill out a bunch of paperwork in Japanese before seeing the doctor. Once you finish at the doctor, usually you'll get like a little referral that you'll take to the chemist or the pharmacy, and their waiting time was 1 hour, which is almost unheard of. So I decided rather than sitting there and waiting, I already waited 20 minutes, I'm gonna go to this cafe and I got myself a flat white, which was 530 yen, as well as an apple on toast, one slice of bread, and I also got an egg added on top, like a soft-boiled egg, which was 1,150 yen. So recently I've had so much pain in my ear, and it's usually when I push down on it, or if I push my nose to kind of like balance out, you know, when it pops. And so I was like, I need to go get this checked out because I'm going to be traveling next week. I researched a bunch of ear doctors which have like a name. I can't remember what it's called. Otolaryngology. So yeah, that's what an ear doctor is. And this one was in a expat area, so I was like, I'm gonna try it. There was a few English reviews. And turns out it was really good. The guy was really fast, really efficient. I don't have a lot of good experiences with Japanese doctors, but it went smoothly. He was nice. It did go a little faster. I wish I kind of knew what he did. I feel like he burnt the earwax to like remove it. I'm not sure. He put something in there and he said there was a build-up of my earwax. So yeah, he removed it and hopefully it's all good, but I have to put some ointment in every day. And if you've ever wondered how much it costs in Japan to go to the doctor, it's really cheap provided they actually take your healthcare card. So because I am an employee in a company, I only have to pay 30% of the bill because the government subsidizes 70%. That's why for the actual appointment it was only 1,500 yen, which is really cheap. And I think my medicine that I'll get later today should be under 1,000 yen. I'd assume so. So pretty good. Although I took a train this morning, my new favorite method of transportation in Tokyo is loop. If you see these blue and white bicycles or scooters, I highly recommend you try them out while you're visiting or if you live here because they are so convenient. It is the best thing that has been ever created in Tokyo. So I'm gonna rent one of these and I think for 30 minutes it's only gonna be 200 yen. So I'm gonna try and get from Toranomon Hills to Shibuya. It estimates it'll take me about 20 minutes because these are electric bikes and these are so cheap, and I've got a bit of a deal because I pay for a monthly loop membership, which means that I'm paying less if I ride more. If it's worth it for you, it really depends how much you're going to use it, but for me, I just find it so great. So I'm going to get one of these and get going. Right now, there are actually over 3,000 loop stations in Tokyo, so it's super convenient when renting and returning the bikes around each neighborhood. After cycling here, I'm so sweaty and exhausted, so I grabbed myself a Pocari Sweat. This is the Ion Water version for 160 yen. Never had this one before. It's a little less sweet. I realized I hadn't eaten yet, so I popped into an udon restaurant I spotted for a cheap lunch after my pricey breakfast. Just cold udon noodles with broth. This udon dish is really good value. You basically would pay the same price for something at the convenience store. And this is just better because it's not like amazing, not top grade, but it's just like a chain, I think. It's similar to marugame and I'm very satisfied. This is so cheap and so good. I headed home once again with Loop and made a super simple pasta dinner and watched anime on Netflix. It is the second day and I haven't spent much money yet because I already spent it last week. So technically, does it count? Does it not count? Let me know. But I've had this sitting in my room for a long time. This Pokemon set of cards that I bought at the convenience store, and I figured, what's a better time to open it than now? Because then I'll just say I bought this for like, I don't know, 200 yen. And I'm gonna open it because I wanna know what's inside. Maybe I've been sitting on a jackpot here of like thousands of dollars. So let's open it together. I'm actually really excited to do this. All right. I love the packaging. I kind of want to be able to preserve it. Okay. Imagine if I cut the card. I've never done one of these. I actually started watching these on YouTube recently. Batafuri. Don't know what the value of this is. Ooh, this is a really underwhelming shiny. If I got a shiny, I didn't want it to be that guy. No wonder this is like an addiction. Oh, I got a Pikachu! Get out! It's not shiny, but I'm still really happy. It's my favorite Pokemon. So this is what I pulled today. Anyhow, I am on my way out. I also want to show you guys, this is the medicine I got yesterday for the ear. It's pretty small, but I feel like this will last me a really long time. There's like, I only put like a little dab and I swish it around with a cotton swab. So yeah, that's what I got from the doctor. And this costs like 500 yen, very good. Lucky for me, trains are usually quite cheap, between 200 to 500 yen per ride to anywhere in central Tokyo. Anyhow, this is my capsule for tonight. So usually you'd have to pay for things like beer and snacks, but I'm staying at a capsule hotel today and this is part of the free happy hour. So I've got free beer, free nuts, and like, you know, some snacks. So I'm not paying anything for that, but I am paying, I can't remember what the price I was paying for tonight. It kind of goes up and I picked the cheapest one. I planned this a little in advance because sometimes it can be like almost 200 AUD. If you're in Kyoto, it was like 4,000. I dipped out to grab an early dinner at an Aussie chain selling Mexican food. Tastes good. So for Tokyo standards, I wouldn't say this is cheap or reasonable. It's 1,370 yen for a regular burrito on its own. And honestly, kind of pricey, but it's good. It's on the go. You can eat it fast. And it's relatively like healthy-ish. So, you know, it is what it is. But if you go to like a Mexican Tex-Mex place, you can get like a burrito there for the same price or maybe less. I'm just waiting for my friends to arrive, but we're going to watch the new Deadpool movie at Toho Cinemas in Shibuya, and I've never been to these before. I always go to the one in Shinjuku where Godzilla is, so I'm excited to see if there's any differences. But today is a Wednesday, and that means it is the cheap movie night here in Japan. Instead of paying like 2,500, maybe 3,000 yen, or whatever it costs, because I never go on the full price day, it is 1,300 yen, which is very cheap. I think, what in USD could be $8 or something. So, living the budget life. And it won't matter if I love the movie or I don't, because like I don't mind risking it and gambling for 1,300 yen. Yeah, so I'm gonna get some popcorn too. Popcorn is hella cheap in Japan. In Australia, getting any snacks at the movies, super pricey. I remember I went with my friend to watch the new Ghibli movie back in January, and she spent like $30 Australian like on chips and M&Ms, and I was just like, got the popcorn. It was 440 yen.
That's so cheap compared to America.
I know, in Australia it'd be like $10
Yeah,
or something.
seriously.
I never got it. My mom always gave us like homemade popcorn.
That's so cute. I used to go to Panda Express and I just take in lo mein and eat the lo mein.
It is the third day of calculating how much I am spending in Tokyo, and I'm starting today off a little pricey because after the capsule stay, I wanted to get some breakfast in the area, and this is Shibuya, and there is a Blue Bottle right around the corner from where I stayed, and it's got a really nice aesthetic. It's beautiful. I've actually only ever passed by this, and I went for a latte because I need my coffee in the morning, and this is like 600 yen, which is pretty standard for Tokyo, but let's see how it tastes. Nice and creamy, smooth. I also went for a breakfast set, which is like a toasted cheese sandwich with soup, and I've never got it here before. It was a good tomato soup, really nice and rich. I spend a lot of my money on like cafes. I think a lot of other people might spend it on like bars and nightlife, like clubbing, cigarettes, alcohol, but I really don't. So I think most of mine just goes to coffee, which, you know, to each their own. I don't really have any expensive hobbies or like daily necessities outside of that. Maybe just like healthy food. I'm kind of curious, what are your priorities? Do you prefer to spend money on nightlife stuff or whatever it is? Let me know. I'm very curious. I headed back home by train to get to work. After finishing work, I went to the supermarket to grab some groceries for dinner. Since there was a typhoon supposedly heading for Tokyo, a lot of the products were already sold out, and I couldn't stop laughing because the only rice that was left was jasmine rice, and Japanese people just aren't interested in anything that's not pure Japanese rice. Tonight I was preparing a noodle dish with lots of fresh veggies, spices and herbs. It's pretty much just basil, ginger, garlic, chili, mixed with some soy sauce and sesame oil. I went to the supermarket earlier because there's a typhoon coming tomorrow, so I wanted to make sure I had all the ingredients and food to cook with. And tonight is actually a recipe I've never tried before, but I love these kind of flat noodles. They are just my favorite and I've never actually cooked with them, but they're like called kimeshi udon. And I found this recipe once again on Instagram, like all my inspiration comes from there. And it's like a basil, coriander, chili, oil dish with soy sauce. But I was missing one of the core like sauces, which was like a oyster sauce. So it's missing a bit of flavor, but you add lime in it and the lime actually does a lot. For my first time making this, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out and I think I could customize this a whole bunch. Maybe adding things like gochujang paste, even just typical Japanese flavors like mirin and sake. Also, do you like my Kirby bowl? It's so cute. I actually won this at a konbini. I paid like 500 yen or something for a lottery ticket and won it. After dinner, I had some cravings for something sweet, so I dipped out for a dessert from the convenience store. And Haagen-Dazs is so popular in Japan, and it's actually an American brand, which a lot of people don't know. Anyhow, the next day I started off at the gym, and afterwards I often pick up milk at the convenience store. It is pricier than the supermarket by maybe like 50 yen, but it's just so convenient and I often go through my milk quite quickly, so I do pick it up, unfortunately, more often than I'd like at the convenience store. Today has very much been a work from home day. It is typhoon day, supposedly, but as usual, they always on TV and on the news say, don't go outside, it's going to be really bad for Tokyo anyway. And it's usually like sunny and clear, and there's been a bit of rain, but it's really nothing to worry about. But I'm glad they do in Japan make sure that everyone's aware and, you know, taking precautions. But anyhow, that's why last night when I went to the supermarket, I kind of stocked up on a few things. So for lunch, I just had a really basic pasta. I used a bunch of leftover food. Even from like before I started this challenge, I had some pasta sauce left. Made myself a cup of tea, which is probably the cheapest beverage you can really get. Tea bags themselves, depending on the tea, 10-20 yen at most, and then a dash of milk. I'm feeling really tired today. Apparently the pressure system, like it's the lowest pressure or something like that. So I'm very sluggish, very, very tired, but I'm gonna keep working. I have a lot to do, so let's get to it. But there won't be any spending today. Really hardly any, unless something happens or I do some online shopping. I love cooking every night, and one of my rainy day favorites is Japanese curry. It's super simple to prepare. You just chop up your favorite vegetables, and for me today it was potato, sweet potato, carrots, mushrooms, and okra. My curry is ready. This is literally one of the cheapest Japanese dishes you can make because all you need is the curry roux, and it's a pack that usually contains 2, so you can make it over 2 different times, and that's only about 200 or 300 yen. And then of course any veggies or protein you want to put in there. I'm so excited. This is the perfect weather for it because it's very stormy outside. I don't know if you can hear the rain. It's a little heavy at the moment, but anyhow, itadakimasu. This never doesn't taste good. Anyhow, it's my budget meal. I think a total cost, because I get to reuse a lot of the vegetables, and I get to put there's heaps of curry still in the pot. So for lunch tomorrow, I'll probably have like kare udon, which is using the leftover curry base and then adding, you can add like dashi, or like I like to just kind of keep it as it is, and then putting the udon in. Usually when I cook at home, it costs me a lot because I love to use dairy, but when you actually cook Japanese meals, super budget friendly, especially if you use things like tofu, natto, Japanese moyashi, like beans. There's so many things I don't even know in the supermarket. It can be so cheap. It's just, yeah. This is probably on the more expensive end for maybe Japanese meals, but it's good for a big group or family because then you can just split the cost and it's even cheaper then. It's probably like 200 yen then. Good morning and welcome to day 5 of this calculating challenge. I didn't spend too much yesterday and today should be the same, but This morning I wanted to go get a coffee and I realized I didn't have any left, but I found an old packet I got for free at a hotel. Because I stay at so many hotels, I often grab the tea and coffee to have it another time. So I'm gonna make this, so technically it's free, but later I'll probably get another one from the konbini. And tonight I will be going out into the city, Ikebukuro, for an event tonight. So a little bit of spending, but not too much. If you remember the other day I made some pasta, this is the leftovers, so no extra cost. Yay for leftovers and home cooked meals. And I'm also having a protein shake which has almond milk. So this is probably 100 yen because the almond milk is pretty expensive, and then the protein powder. I love it when I cook and then I don't have to cook the next day. Having leftovers, such a good feeling. Convenience store coffee is really cheap, especially if you just get a black coffee. Anyhow, this is my lunch. This is the remains. So I had the udon as well as the curry roux, which I downed before going out into the city. This is Ikebukuro. I don't come out here too often, but my friend and I had an event which didn't end up happening, so I went shopping. And I spent more than I had planned to because I didn't even plan to go shopping, but I'm going on a trip to Europe, so I bought some clothes. It was a little pricey. And then I had dinner with my friend after we decided to meet, and he treated me, so thank you very much to my friend. And I saw this Pokemon train on the way home. That was free, just enjoying a lovely train. Sunday morning I had a dentist appointment just for cleaning and checkup, and dentists in Japan are so cheap. I spent 3,000 yen. Incredible. After going back home, I did a little bit of grocery shopping to make one of my favorite dishes. It's a miso pasta, and looking back at what I've done this week, I eat pasta a lot. It's my go-to dish, but this one is a bit special because it's creamy and it's got a bunch of vegetables. Anyhow, then I headed to Shimokitazawa in the afternoon by bicycle, so it was free. And on the way, I posted a letter, which is very cheap in Japan. For the letter and the stamp, it was just 500 yen. But the main reason I went out is for kakigori, which is a summer treat, and this was a little pricey, 1,150 yen or so, but it was delicious, decadent tiramisu kakigori, perfect to cool down in these hot summer days. But the main thing that happened that I'm so excited to share is not me buying water with this cool transition, but while I was having a latte just chilling outside, in the distance there was this matsuri sound, and it was the awa odori. So I'm in Shimokitazawa for the afternoon, and I had no idea, but today is a matsuri, and it's actually the awa odori, which I did as part of my job at TC, and I didn't really understand how awesome it is, but coming here and seeing it in person was really touching, and it kind of made me want to cry, because I was like, wow, I did that, and so much has happened, and it was just so beautiful. And the great thing about matsuri in Japan is that they're free. So this was 0 yen, and I had no idea that was even on. It just happened to be, and I asked some people, and they're like, yeah, there's a matsuri, check it out. So we're sitting at the coffee shop nearby, heard the noise, dashed over, came up these stairs, and got a great perspective because they were performing in this little square. But now they're going to be running around, well, not running, dancing around the streets of Shimokitazawa for the next 2 hours, and they're just going to go up and down, I guess, in a loop. They've got a route, and I'm going to go try and follow them and see them because I've never seen a street matsuri before. This is my first proper out on the street matsuri experience, so I'm very, very excited, and I'm just happy to be here in the summer in Japan. It's really fun, and it's perfect weather. It's there's a breeze and it's not too hot, so yeah, free matsuri! Absolutely exhausted from dancing at the matsuri, it was time for dinner and popped into a yakitori place, which is a grilled chicken joint, and bought a few side dishes like dashimaki tamago yaki, abura soba, and it was very cheap. It was only 2,000 yen each, which is amazing. Love Japan. Monday was very chill. It was just a work from home day. I went out to get sushi in the middle of the day as well, which is always budget friendly for me because I just buy cucumber. And then in the evening, I just put together some random food that sometimes this happens. It's just like an egg, potatoes, tomato. So that's what I spent in a week. Let me know your thoughts. Did I spend too much, too little? Am I irresponsible? please let me know. And by the way, this wasn't a normal week for me. I did try and go out and do things so this vlog would be entertaining. I'd appreciate so much if you'd like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye!